Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm excited to be here today creating a card using a stamp set from Stampscapes. This is part of my follow-up to Stamp Wars 6. Stamp Wars is something that is put together by the FSC, and it's at least once a month, and it's basically a mystery stamp challenge. Participants who are part of the FSC design team have the opportunity to compete against each other for the best card. We have 1 hour to make sometimes one, sometimes two cards, and we are given sabotages along the way. And so it's a lot of fun. I would encourage you to check out the link below to Nancy Stamp's channel, where you can find episodes of Stamp Wars and also the most recent episode, which was held just this past Saturday. I'm super excited to share with you what I created, not only during Stamp Wars, but as a follow up because this stamp set is gorgeous. So let's get started. Oh, and one more thing. This is a giveaway video, so please stay tuned. I'm going to ask you a question, would like you to answer it. And if you leave a comment answering the questions, you'll be entered into my drawing for a prize pack of some goodies, including stamps, dies, lots of fun stuff. So let's get started. During our most recent Stamp Wars, we had to make two cards and one envelope that would match one of the cards. This is the first card that I made, which I think is my best card. It's a 5.5 by 5.5 card. It's a square card with a big moon um, over the lake using inks and Catherine Pooler inks for the sky. You'll just have to watch it to see how it was made. Again, the links are below in my description box, so please check it out. And this is the second card I made. Again, with Catherine Pooler inks, it's supposed to represent daytime. We had to make one nighttime card, one daytime card. And this one you can see a matching envelope. So that's what we were challenged to do in 1 hour. So yes, there's bound to be mistakes. You can't help it whenever you're under that kind of pressure. But it was a lot of fun, and I hope you'll check it out and see what the sabotages were. Okay, this is the stamp set that we received. It was sponsored by Stampscapes, and it was a competition with Nancy, Stacy, Chow, myself, and Ryan was the moderator. And we each received our own set of Nature Sheet number 6. This is Cling Foam Mounted Rubber Stamps Lakeside Cabin. It includes Lakeside Cabin, Ledge, Pine Row, Reeds, and water pattern. And the stamp set also comes with an idea sheet, which is in full color. So that is super exciting. I really like that I could look at this and get ideas regarding how to create. But I will say that there's lots of possibilities with this stamp set, not just what's pictured in the idea sheet, but also ideas that you yourself can come up with. So for example, on the back of the packaging, you can see there's line art, which is the black and white images of the stamps. And if you look at these, you'll see that you can use these pieces even apart from the stamp set, using it with stamps that you own or using them individually to create different types of cards. Okay, let's take a peek on the inside so that you can see what I mean about how the artist and owner of Stampscapes provides the ideas that could help you start thinking of ways to use the stamp set. So very helpful indeed. You can also go to the stampscapes.com website. There are thousands of examples that have been posted in hundreds of galleries. And Stampscapes has a YouTube channel, which I will have linked below, where you can watch Kevin create some fantastic works of art with these stamp sets. You will be blown away at how amazing it looks and how realistic it looks. It's just a wonderful company. So thanks again, Kevin, for sponsoring us. I'm so excited to share designs in the future using this wonderful stamp set. And currently, there is a coupon code that's only good until this Wednesday. So the coupon code expires on December 16th, 2020. But you can get this stamp set for 20% off, which is a great, great deal. I would encourage you to check it out and support Stamp Wars by purchasing this stamp set and let Kevin know how much we appreciate his generosity in giving each of our design team members a set. And there's also going to be a set given away on Nancy Stamp's YouTube channel. So you'll want to head over to Nancy Stamps, watch her video, and comment so that you have the opportunity to be entered to win your own Stampscapes Nature Sheet set number 6. Okay, so this again is my first card, which again is the 5.5 by 5.5. And this is my second card, which is just a regular A2 card mounted on craft cardstock with a sepia tone. I used all brown ink on this one. Let's start with a piece of paper. I have a piece of accent opaque 80-pound cardstock. I'm going to be stamping on this regular paper because I figured folks at home might not have the specialty glossy stock that some of us have and use. Actually, the glossy stock is what I use during Stamp Wars. You can see how clear and crisp these stamp. I'm using Catherine Polar archival ink in Midnight. And I'm trying to lay out the scene so that the cabin in the woods is at nighttime. I'm going to use colors more in the foreground, but in the background, just using black ink or gray, depending on what I'm stamping. And here is the row of pines. Pine row, actually it's called. And I'm stamping off. One thing with Stampscapes, they're made to be overlapped. So you don't have to worry about a lot of complicated masking and embrace the overlap. With Stampscapes, they look very nice and can create some depth and contrast depending on what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so this stamp is I think it's called Ledge. Yeah, this is the Ledge. And I'm stamping it off the page a little bit as well. It's a pretty substantial size stamp. And it's just awesome because it creates a perspective of you standing on the other side of the lake looking at the cabin. Yeah, I really like it. So my question to you is, have you ever had a vacation at a lakeside cabin? And, just answer that below for your chance to win a prize pack from me. My prize is open to U.S. residents only. So please note when you comment where you're from, USA or international. For my water, I have two colors, VersaFine Clear inks. I have Twilight, which is the darker blue, and Warm Breeze, which is the more turquoise blue. I'm starting with Twilight and stamping that along the edges of the lake. This is a really nice water image stamp. It gives you the portrayal of, moving water. And you can use this not only for a lake, but also for an ocean, I think. You can also use it, depending on how you stamp it, as clouds. When I did Stamp Wars, I used it as texture on the surface of the moon. So yeah, all kinds of possibilities. All right. I'm still using the Twilight ink. Nope, that's Warm Breeze. Okay, so you can see that Warm Breeze is more of a turquoise color. I'm trying to leave a section of the lake sort of white for now. That's where the moon would be reflecting into the water. I don't know if you noticed it, but I had a small piece of masking paper in the shape of a circle that adhered to the top right hand corner of my card panel, and that's going to be where my moon is. Okay, so I'm just going in with the stamp water pattern and filling in with either the Warm Breeze or the Twilight, depending what I felt looked best. This is just where you have to use artistic license and go ahead and fill in your lake. I have Rainforest ink from VersaFine Clair. I'm going to stamp this large pine tree in the foreground. And I'm going to stamp it 2 more times, first stamping it off so that it looks like a cluster of tall pine trees. I really like how this is looking so far. And I'm just going to get some clean paper. That's more to help you so you could kind of follow what I'm doing. It's kind of hard with all the stamping off. Some of these little pines I'm using just at the base of the tall pines, just to make it look like, to fill it in some, in other words. And it looks fine because anytime you see a row of pine trees, there's always little saplings at the foot of the pines. This is reeds, and I'm stamping these reeds at varying levels with Catherine Polar archival ink in Midnight. I'm also stamping off a little bit so that they're not all the same color. All right, so this is my first part of getting this card panel complete. And now I need to color my cabin. So one of the things that I love about this lakeside cabin is that by adding some ink to the windows, it really makes it pop. I'm also adding some ink to the roof. So these are my alcohol markers. I chose a yellow color and a green color. And when the card is finished, it just glows because of the light from the alcohol markers. So I like that a lot. Okay, now I have some Morning Mist. This gray ink is called Morning Mist, and I used it to stamp my ledge. And now I'm using it to just fill in a little bit of the water pattern because underneath that moonlight, it was blank. It was completely blank, and that's not natural. I just used the gray to make it look lighter. I'm going to ahead and take my heat tool and just make sure all of this ink is good and dry before I add the sky background with pan pastels. You can use different medias when you're creating your cards. The idea of the pan pastels is that you can apply them over ink and the ink will still shine through. And that's what I like about using pan pastels in scene building. I mean, I like a lot of things about pan pastels, but that's one of them. All right, looks like I grabbed the small pine trees, inking them up with some gray ink. That is the VersaFine Clair Morning Mist. And I'm just trying to ink the very tops of those trees onto the panel to make it look like there's some depth. So by stamping them in gray behind the black, well, it's not really behind the black, but it's above the black. It's definitely, showing that there's, more than just those trees standing there. You could stamp your gray trees first, but I wasn't really sure about that. So I just am filling them in at the end, and it worked out pretty good. Okay, now I have my pan pastels and my blending tools. These are sponge tipped applicators specially made for pan pastels. And I'm using a little bit of the dark blue to fill in the lake. I am blending off my paper. I don't want to make it too dark. Pan pastels are artist quality pastels in a pan. So instead of being in a crayon, the pastels are in a pan and they're dry. They are at the same consistency of a real expensive eyeshadow, um, and they are easy to blend and they are easy to apply. And they do make special sponge tipped blending tools that you can purchase with using your pan pastels. This product that I'm using here is called a soft knife, and you can also use cosmetic sponges. I'm going to be using the violet color for my sky. Then I'm going to remove my mask and use gray for the moon. I've also added some blue into the water on the lake. Okay, and then when I'm done blending my background, I'm going to lift the mask of the moon and fill the moon in with some gray pan pastels. I also filled in the ledge with some gray pan pastels. I also filled in the water with a little bit of purple, a little bit of blue, and that is nice about ink. Once your panel's dry, you can go in with pan pastels. To set your pan pastels, you have to use some kind of sealant. You can use a Krylon matte spray, which smells really bad, and you really can't spray it in your house in the wintertime because you should have a window open because of the fumes. So I use hairspray when I'm spraying it in my craft room. I just used hairspray, and a lot of people want to know what kind of hairspray I use, and it's this kind. It's just honey hold hairspray. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the card that I made. Don't forget to check the description box below where you can find Ryan's video, Chow's video, Stacy's video, Nancy's video. All of those channels are having giveaways. And don't forget to like this video, leave your comment if you've ever stayed at a lakeside cabin for vacation, and let me know whether you're USA or international. My contest is only open to USA. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I would love to have you as one of my subscribers, and then ring the bell so that you'll be notified as to when I go live and when I'm having more giveaways. Thanks, everyone. Have a hopeful day. Bye bye.